What do they want with us? Isn't it obvious? Look at us all.
For anybody who will be watching, listening, reading, we are going to be discussing the film Escape, which is the latest. It's a thriller. It's quite a serious, violent.
Yeah, it has its moments.
Yeah, it does. And I'm with Sarah Alexandra Marks, who is one of the title lead actresses in the film. We'll chat about her experience on the film, which we're really excited about. So I'll get straight to it because I know I'm not going to be keeping you for very long. I can imagine you've done plenty of these already.
Yeah, done my fair share today.
So yeah, like I said, it's a very different film. It is actually more violent than I thought it was going to be. So when you first read the script, what were your thoughts and what drew you to it?
Well, actually, Howard had sort of painted the story of this character Carla to me in person. And pitched it in such a way that I was just completely in from the get-go, and I was like, oh my God, yes, I want this role. I would love to play Carla, and I would love to come to the Canary Islands to shoot with you. Who would say no anyway? And especially just to work with Howard. I mean, that's a yes. It's no-brainer for me. I think Howard is brilliant. So really, it's Howard that drew me.
They brought you in. He sold it.
Yeah,
he sold it all for you. Sold you the dream.
He did.
Oh, that's brilliant. And how was filming in the Canary Islands? Because it looked it looked lovely and warm, if I'm being honest, when I was watching it. I was like, I'd like to be in a desert right now. But it did it take a while? Was it over a couple of months?
No, it was weeks actually. I think we were out there for, was it 2 weeks or 10 days?
Wow.
Maybe it was 2 weeks we were out there in the Canary Islands. And it does give you holiday vibes, doesn't it, when you're watching it?
Yeah, it really does. Yeah,
and sand.
Setting the scene.
We did have beautiful weather. Yeah. We did actually. We had there was weather warnings, I think, of a cyclone.
Oh gosh.
Is that right? Cyclone? Yeah. There was crazy weather warnings, and we did get weathered off for a day. We were supposed to go to these caves this day, and the rain was just crazy. There was just no way that we could do it. And then rain stopped when we were driving to our new accommodation. So we quickly just pulled up on the side of the road and just captured this one little shot of me when I'm supposed to be looking out towards the caves, watching the character Lucy run in that direction. Yeah. So we did manage to get something that day. So we get completely rained off, but it didn't go to plan, but all was okay.
That's good. And I think like fans sometimes don't realize that when they watch these films, that sort of behind the scenes that can happen of like, quickly, here we are, just get out the car and we'll film this whole section here. And we've got daylight now, quickly, off you go.
Yeah.
And that kind of
throw yourself
intensity.
in. Yeah. Well, I like that though.
Yeah, it keeps you on your toes, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially as a performer, you've got to be ready to go when they need you to.
Yeah. Always be ready.
Yeah, and your character has some very emotional, high intense scenes and situations amongst all this lovely scenery and cinematography. How did you prepare for that as an actor?
Well, I mean, I always do, the same preparation. Always make sure, first and foremost, that I learn my lines inside out and that I can recite them while dancing. Just so then I can also then let go of them and take on any feedback and direction that I might get during the scene, and not then think, oh, how am I going to take that on with the lines? That is just something I'm really, really strict about, is just knowing them inside out. And that just really helps then everything else fall into place. Like build up my character's story and background before heading on set, if it's not written for me or if I've not been told their background. But luckily Howard is quite giving, and he really does you go into so much depth with telling the story about the life of your character, and then also the current situation they're in. So he's just actually so magical and good of painting that picture for my imagination, for me personally. Like,
Wow.
I enjoy working with him in that way. So also that process, and then it just really goes down to being, you know, on set in my costume, in my makeup with my co-stars, and just making sure I'm grounded and in the moment. I think that's where it all falls into place, is just being aware, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. And with your character, little things, what was your favorite thing about her? Is it something that really resonated with you with her?
Yeah, that there is you know, her backstory, you know, with her sister.
Yes, yes.
Losing her sister. So for me, I lost my mum in 2020. And so that's all, thank you. It's all still like very fresh
And
and
raw.
raw. And I got to, you know, just touch base on that a little, especially when we were filming that particular scene where
Yeah.
Lucy and Carla, they'd stop for a moment and they tell each other, you know, about their struggles, and why she has to go back to help those girls is because of her sister.
Yeah.
So for me, it did resonate for something that happened to me in real life, and I was able to sit there and, you know, I just was surrounded by these beautiful sand dunes, and I just looked up off past the camera and just imagined my mum just sitting there just watching me, which was really actually quite nice, and it helped me, I don't know, to just be like present and not think too much about the dialogue or the accent, and to just actually let go and just give it my all.
Yeah, really be in that moment and take that personal experience and put that into a character. You can definitely see that that's a very, very strong moment in the film without, you know, giving too much away. You've got what I would call like a bunch of beautiful women. You know, you're all beautiful girls, and you know, you're all trying to escape and you're trying to help each other, and it's a struggle. And to get this very intimate scene with you two really hones in on the realness of these girls. So it's not just all these beautiful people that are trying to be, you know, kidnapped and sold off, but they're actually real people.
Yeah, they've got a backstory. They've got, you know, things that have happened to them and a past, which everyone does, doesn't they? Like they don't they? They all have like something going on. Everyone will have a story, and that's why I also think in real life you just should never judge anyone and they take, because you just actually never know the
What's going
reasoning.
on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's a really, really lovely, poignant moment in that. And I mean, I don't want to give like too many spoilers, but were you happy with the way that your character then went and how her story sort of ended in the film? Were you happy with that? You know, did you have any sort of like decisions over what happened, or was Howard quite strict with how everything was ending?
Howard's not strict by any means. Like, he's so freeing as a director and just such a joy to work with. But you know, he had the story and the vision of where it went, and I just trusted him.
Amazing.
I trusted him 100%, and there was no challenges there or no questions of like, why does my character do this? Why do I say this? I just really connected with Howard, actually, and this was the first film that I'd worked with him on, and it was just the start of like a beautiful friendship there, and just a very trusting one. So it was all quite seamlessly easy, and just a lovely experience.
Oh, that's really nice to hear. It's really uplifting, like I said, for such a thriller with quite a dark sort of storyline. It's nice to hear it was lovely to film. We had a great time. You know, people are going to watch it and be like, "Oh, okay, really? Like,
really?
you're crying a lot." Wonderful. So for audiences out there, we'll sell the film a bit. Why should people watch Escape?
Oh, well, you're just going to be taken on a mad roller coaster ride with so many highs, so many lows. It's going to be non-stop action. You will not be bored for 1 minute, I assure you. It will feel like you've been watching for about 10 minutes. And I think that is just a wonderful thing that Howard's done in making this movie. Just don't feel like you've been sitting there for 85 minutes. It's just,
no, I agree.
He's just movie magic, man. And you just love the epicness of the story and where it takes you and all the different storylines within, you know, each of the characters, and also vulnerable, but in that vulnerability they find that strength to come through, you know, go to the depths of despair and, you know, go through a sort of rebirth, if you sort of like to say, and become someone they probably never thought that they could be. But without those challenges, how would they know if they had that or not?
Yeah, it's like a very, very serious negative turning into a positive. And showing that female strength, that sisterhood, and what you can do when you work together. Instead of against each other.
Yeah, exactly. Coming together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, what I love to ask actors, I love learning about the film itself and what it took to make it, because I think when you watch it, you learn so much, but it's also what you experienced. Was there any day in particular that stood out for you that was like one of your favorite days on set, or a scene, for example, or something where you were just like, oh, that was magic? Am I ever going to get that again?
You know, I think for me, it's very hard to boil it down to one day or one scene, because every day I absolutely enjoyed. But for me, something that does stand out is we arrived, only a few of us at the beginning of the shoot. We arrived in the evening, we woke up in the morning. Actually, no, we shot that evening. As soon as we arrived at this location, a smaller location, we shot some stuff then we went to bed, but then the next day I shot all day long with Howard, and I think we like broke a record with how many shots we got. It was just epic, and we were jumping from you know, like different sections, missing parts out because there were parts between this one bit in the cabin with the baddies. So we did all of my bits without them there. And we just got so much footage. We really, it was just quite unbelievable what we did.
A really productive day.
Yeah, so productive, and it was just all systems go, and we all just threw ourselves into it together and worked real as a tight, small team. And for me, that was actually that's a very memorable day for me doing that.
Yeah, it's nice, like small teams. It can be nicer to work in a small team because you really get that sort of friendship and family vibe, and there's not, you know, massive cast and crew staring at you and all this sort of like pressure that can come from that. And yours, the film is very much on location. You are outside quite a lot of the time, and even in the cabin, you know, it's all beautiful. I say beautiful because it is all this gorgeous like landscape and desert looking area. So I think, to have just a small crew there, it just makes it more intimate, doesn't it? And I think that would help you as an actor probably feel what they were feeling being kidnapped and feeling that, you know, stuck and alone, you know, in such a vast space.
Yeah, exactly.
Helping embody that for you. So sort of like moving forward, are you like saying to Howard, what are we doing next? Are we doing something?
Oh, always bugging Howard.
Because I can imagine he's got some more things like this in the pipeline, because it's going to be a success. So that's the...
Thank you. Yeah, well, I'm always talking movie making with Howard, and you know, ideas. It's just nice to share it with, you know, people who share a common interest and have that creative flair, and you just see it's like embedded in Howard's soul to make movies, and he's just so talented at it. So we shall see. But we did another movie together called River of Blood. We finished filming that last year, the back end of last year, in Thailand, which is an action adventure.
Yeah.
With a bit of horror as well.
Cool.
So,
Well, I'll put that
yeah.
definitely on my list to watch, and who knows, I might interview you guys again at some point.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
But yeah, so for everybody watching, it's a fantastic film. It's a thriller. It's exciting. You know, I am going to say there's some really good looking girls in there. So, you know, if you if that is what you're into, some good looking girls fighting back, and that sisterhood escape is going to be the one for you.
It 100% will.
Yeah.
It won't disappoint.
No, not at all.
Mm-mm.
All right, Sarah, thank you so much for your time today. I will let you go. I've kept you bang on 15 minutes, which is amazing
thank
for me.
you so much.
I tried to rush through what I could. So yes,
Thank
thank
you so
you.
much.
And yeah, have a lovely rest of the press and good luck with everything going forward.
Thank you so much. Have a
All right,
lovely rest of
lovely.
the day, and thank you for having me. Hopefully see you soon for another
Yes.
movie.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. All right. See you
Thank
later.
you.